Hey guys, Peter from Digibee here. I want to show you something that really blew my mind. We are working on this digital workers. That's an AI that is an expert in integrations. He knows everything from patterns, data formats, error handling, everything that is deep inside the integration building process has been encoded by Digibee into this AI, into this digital worker. So this is how it works. We're going to tell it the goals that we have for projects, exactly as you do with any team member building and thinking about integrations. In this case, I'm going to tell you that I want to take the purchase orders from a customer ERP system and bring them into my own systems, for example. A typical scenario that we'll do, a typical thing that will be present in our backlogs, right? I'll give it a name. I'll just say demo, right? And then I'm going to give it context. I'm going to add files, documentation. I can also link to Jira tickets, to Google Drive, whatever source of information I have that is adding context to the request, to these goals that I'm telling the digital worker to work on, right? So in this case, I'm going to select 4 files that reference the Open API specifications for the systems that are involved in this process and reference documentation for SAP. So just hit open, and now I added this context. Now I'm going to start the conversation with this digital worker. The whole point in this conversation is to refine a specification, something that truly describes the integration process that we are working on. So the first thing that this digital worker asks is, what is my high-level objective, right? What am I trying to achieve? So the first thing I'm going to answer is that I want complete coverage of the requirements. Once I hit confirm, this is what's going to happen, right? And this is amazing. So it's taking all this information, the knowledge it has, the documentation that we specified, the whole training set on how to properly build integrations, and it's going to iterate on top of all that to build the integration specification, to iterate with us on the specific, right? And you're going to see it typing it here because it should be seen as a counterpart to you, truly a partner that you have on your team helping you build complex integration processes, right? Which is something that took what? Months, right? And now we're going to see that it's going to take a couple of minutes, right? So once it does that, it's going to start thinking about all the systems that are involved in this process. What is the business purpose of this, right? What are the high-level data flows that we should have in this situation? So it knows everything that is needed in order for this integration process to happen. This thing is going to take a bit of time, so maybe 10 minutes where we iterate with it. It is going to ask me more questions about my preferences. So I will steer it. I'm still in control. I have control of the whole process, but the heavy duty is delegated to this digital worker. Once this thing is refined, then I'm going to see a lot more information here, right? So I'm going to see volume, performance. So it thinks about performance, right? All the integration flows, the steps that it takes, the reasoning on how to build all these things that I set as goals, right? The whole field mapping process, which is a very cumbersome process in the integration process, where I need to find the source fields, the destination fields, the transformation in between. So this is a very complex process that this digital worker is leveraging for us. Once I refine the specification, I'll reach a point where I can generate the implementation of it, which we call pipelines, the workflows themselves, the actual thing that is going to be executed to fulfill my goal. So here it thought about 4 different workflows, and I'm going to show you the order acknowledgement flow that contains the return to the customer ERP system, right? So I'm going to open it up. Now it's getting me into the Digibee platform, which contains the actual implementation of the workflow. So Digibee contains all these basic building blocks that allow you to build complex workflows. This is amazing because the AI has already thought about all this process, connected all the dots, and built all the logic for us without you doing anything. It also tested, mocked the systems, everything that is required to produce a fully functional workflow. So let's take a look. So it thought about the logic, the validation, calling system, fetching data, understanding if the data is correct, assembling the payloads, And then up to a point that it needs to return the document to the customer ERP system, it's building an actual EDI format file, right? So once I open this up, see, then again, this again blew my mind. It reasoned on top of the EDI format, created the whole data mapping process with all the substitutions, all the replacements that are required to produce this format. This typically takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and now you're delegating this into an AI expert that is going to help you. You're going to still be in control, you're going to still steer it, but it's going to take the whole heavy lifting for you, helping you unlock your backlog, build more integrations, and fulfill the business needs of your organization. Talk to us if you want to drill down more into this. We're more than happy to show you this in more detail.